Good. Now let's talk business.
Well, talk.
I forgot that you're a man of few words. 47. I'm Agent Montgomery. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. You are... a legend.
Legends die. I'm alive.
Well, not for long. Your friend
Agent
Gray
Swan,
is...
are you still there?
dead. Heard he begged for his life like a little baby lamb, ready for the slaughter. And to make things worse, you are now a
Tremaine,
liability
are you
to
still there?
ICA. I'm curious.
And that makes 3.
What happened to you?
The math was on our
ICA
side.
is being
This shouldn't be happening.
compromised.
You, of all people, should know it's not our job to ask questions. We just do what we're told. ICA are incapable of being compromised.
Green!
It's not part of
Agent
their
Green, are you
business.
still there? How the hell
Well,
did he...
anyway,
We're done.
it
Get
is
out.
truly
I'm not losing
hard
any more of you. Expertly done, 47. Expertly fucking done.
We've been compromised. Abort and walk away now.
Who?
ICA. They tracked me. Don't know how.
It's what they do. How many?
1 prime asset and a whole pack of up-and-comers. They've infiltrated the club searching for us. Christ, I think I killed one of them. Get out now before they spot you.
No. They found us once. They'll find us again. Keep your head down. I'll take care of this. We're clear.
You killed all of them?
They got my message.
Enough, enough! He got another. You're sitting ducks. Evacuate to the area immediately. Expertly done, 47. Expertly fucking done.
Don't do it, man!
Agent Lowenthal, please report.
No, please.
Are you there? Agent Rose, report.
Why?
Montgomery, I need a report. Montgomery.
Control, how copy?
Agent Chamberlain.
Expertly done, 47.
It's Ralph. I've given it some thought. Let's talk.
About time. Sit down and make yourself comfortable. I'm on my way.
Careful, Montgomery. That's not Hirschmuller. 47 must have taken him out.
I know, but I'm intrigued how this plays out.
I'm assuming you have a plan here, Montgomery.
Only to eliminate the target?
Don't just tell me what you think I want to hear.
You need to lighten up a little.
I need a status update.
Patience, Jiao. I'm still on my way.
This is patience.
Well, just lean back in your big, comfortable chair and wait. Let the big boys take care of this.
You're a condescending moron. Okay, just get back to me when the job is done.
This is Montgomery. Is everyone in position?
Confirmed.
Okay, entering here's Weller's office. Target is waiting. Now you know what to do.
Agent Price.
Hello. Weird.
Agent Davenport.
Tailor-made, sir?
This is Agent Swan reporting.
Agent Swan.
Agent Chamberlain, checking out. Nothing to report.
Agent Chamberlain.
This is like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Just keep trying, Agent Montgomery. Our client considers Agent 47 and Olivia Hall as a serious threat. You can't underestimate them.
I never do, Jiao. We'll find them. We're all in position.
Good. Report back to me if there's anything.
Don't worry.
I got someone on the ground. I'm moving in.
As long as we don't accidentally overload the system, everything should work. Got it? Yeah, right. Everything's fine as it is right now. I'll just have to make sure it stays that way.
Reporting in. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Keep looking, he'll turn up.
It's Agent Green. Haven't seen hide nor hair of him. If he's here, he's been well out of my path.
Stay alert. We don't need to give him an opportunity to strike.
Agent Green.
It's me. Nothing to report.
Understood. Stay watchful. It's only a matter of time now.
Move up. Take point and move out.
You really think we're gonna get all the way up there and not get like,
Hey, you don't need a roommate, do you?
Yeah, keep it real.
Yeah, I can count.
Hello.
Hey, Tim's calling in. Only got visual on stoned idiots. No sign of target.
He's here. He has to be. Don't get comfortable.
Agent Timms.
Man! Yes, I'm glad someone remembered me because I'm pretty sure your driver... I'm aware that it's a remote address. I'm the one out here starving. All every damn Thursday like clockwork. That's not enough.
Agent Lowenthal.
Lowenthal reporting in. Don't think our boy's here yet. I haven't seen him at least.
Be careful, or you may not spot him until it's too late.
Command, just checking in. I got zilch to report.
Report received.
You have your ticket on you?
Come on. What's this ticket shit in and about? This isn't enough, mate. Did you call again? Yeah, it's fine. I'm right there. Just waiting to make a little transaction of my own. Then I'll drop it off. Yeah, I... No, it's on the receipt, right? That asshole in the bar over there. Hey, cut that up. Bad idea. I would kill us.
Okay. Why would you leave something like this behind?
Hey, whoever ordered the food, your shit's here. Oh, my food's here. Oh, this isn't good. Ooh, I don't think this is good at all. Hey, somebody want to help us out over here? We should have porn, for Christ's sake. Hey, you're wrong, right? We need help. What's going on here? What happened? Something happened. It looks like an accident of some kind. Calm down. I'll be back. Man, you read me. Over. Someone's making trouble. Possibly high on drugs.
Agent Tremaine reporting in. All quiet on the Western Front.
Just remember your briefing and stay on task.
Agent Tremaine.
Command reporting in. No updates. Yet.
Keep looking, he'll turn up.
This is Agent Rhodes checking in. I haven't seen 47 yet, but I'm not taking it for granted that he isn't here.
Stop talking. Focus on finding him.
Agent Rhodes.
It's me. Nothing to report.
Understood. Stay watchful. It's only a matter of time now.
Think we've got our man. Let's tie in the noose.
All right. Don't waste the opportunity. We don't need our noses bloody today.
Oh. I haven't noticed that many lulls.
Took my rifle. Did you take it?
Easy, hard man. It's probably around here somewhere.
No, it was here. fuck? Where is it?
Serves the arrogant prick right.
Come in! There's someone on the ground.
Reporting in. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Report received.
In an orderly fashion. Hey, what's the situation? Looks freaked out.
Only a matter of time now.
Over there. Problem here?
He shook me off. Careful.
These are amateur mistakes. You need to do better.
Command reporting in. No updates. Yet.
Keep looking. He'll turn up.
Go grab a smoke.
So fake.
Excuse me. You should try this. It really is to die for.
Yeah, sure.
Any preferences? You look like a citrus type to me.
Surprise me.
You got it.
Got any on you? Nah. Spent the last bit on the chips.
Yeah, I feel horrible.
Damn.
Reporting in. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Understood. Stay watchful. It's only a matter of time now.
It's Ralph. I've given it some thought. Let's talk.
About time. Sit down and make yourself comfortable. I'm on my way.
Careful, Montgomery. That's not Hirschmuller. 47 must have taken him out.
I know, but I'm intrigued how this plays out.
I'm assuming you have a plan here, Montgomery.
Only to eliminate the target.
Don't just tell me what you think I want to hear.
You need to lighten up a little.
I need a status update.
Patience, Jiao. I'm still on my way.
This is patience.
Well, just lean back in your big, comfortable chair and wait. Let the big boys take care of this.
You are a condescending moron. Okay, just get back to me when the job is done.
Okay, entering Hirschmuller's office. Target is waiting. Now you know what to do.
Well, Rolf, please sit. I want to go over some details with you. Security and whatnot. Rolf, indulge me a moment. Sit. Good. Now let's talk business.
Well, talk.
I forgot that you're a man of few words. 47. I'm Agent Montgomery. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. You are a legend.
Legends die. I'm alive.
Well, not for long. Your friend Gray is certainly dead. Heard he begged
Green!
for his life.
Agent Green, are you still there?
Ready for the slaughter. And to make things worse, you are now a liability to ICA.
Tremaine, are you still there?
What happened to you?
The ICA.
That makes 4. If any of you make it out of this debacle, you'll be the laughing stocks of the ICA.
We just do what we're told.
Shit,
ICA
we need to man up.
Of being compromised. It's not part of their business plan. Well, anyway, it is truly an honor to finally meet you. Okay, that's enough talk. And don't take this personally. I have to admit, though.
Agent Lowenthal, please report.
The one who took out the legendary 47.
How the hell did he... We're done. Get out. I'm not losing any more of you. Expertly done, 47. Expertly fucking done.
Fantastic.
We're clear.
You killed all of them?
They got my message. Where are you?
Diner. Up the main road.
On my way.